Hello world, it is I, the Mystic Philosopher, and of course you are once again tuned to the right number, the Mystic Philosopher. Let me also welcome you to another of my video presentations in the series titled The Redemption from the Curse of the Black Spell. This presentation is titled A Picture is Worth More Than 1,000 Words, Part 5. It is the continuation of my response to the YouTube video titled What Did Jesse Duplantis Say About Black People? If you haven't yet watched or listened to my critique and analysis of his sermon in my early video titled A Response to What Jesse Duplantis Say About Black People, I ask that you please do so now, or please do so at your earliest convenience. By doing so, you will get a much better understanding of this video and those that will follow. Also, if you haven't yet watched part 1 of this presentation titled A Picture is Worth More Than 1,000 Words, part 1 to part 4, I strongly recommend that you do so as well. If this is the first time that you might be watching or listening to any of my YouTube videos, I ask that you check out all the rest of my videos that are here on this my channel called The Right Number, the Mystic Philosopher. I can almost guarantee you or assure you that if you are seriously and honestly interested in getting another perspective on many topics or subjects, topics and subjects that some people might find or call controversial, some of which you might have just taken for granted, things that you might have just accepted as truth, having been taught for all your life that they are true, having been taught by the system and the society that they are true, and some of which you might not even seriously thought about by yourself. Well, if that is the case, then here is a channel that you might want to be tuned to. Here's a channel that you should be tuned to. You are at the right place on the right number, so please stay tuned. In this presentation and those that will follow, I will continue to decode, critique, analyze, evaluate, and comment on most, and if time permits, possible all the still images that are in the YouTube video titled What Did Jesse Duplantis Say About Black People? So as is my custom, please let me begin by reminding you of the old adage which states that, and I quote, a picture is worth 1,000 words, unquote. But I, the Mystic Philosopher, have taken the liberty and say that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. I now ask that you please take a very close and good look at the image that is on your screen. By now you should know that it is taken from the video called What Did Jesse Duplantis Say About Black People? The video that I am now decoding and criticizing or critiquing, if you will. This image is called the abolition of the slave trade. And the reason why I call it the abolition of the slave trade, it is because that is what is written at the bottom of it. You may pay close attention and you will notice that. From my perspective, anyone that look at this image, especially in the preachers Jesse Duplantis and his convert and video maker LP like Paul sermon video, and think or believe that it is designed or that it was designed and is strategically placed there to advance the status of my natural native earthly human, to advance the status of my ancestors and my people, the people and my ancestors that this preacher falsely and otherwise called the black people. Anyone who think like that is not only dumb and stupid, but from my perspective, such a one in every sense of the word is truly a black person. Now I ask that you please pay very close attention to this image as I describe and decode it for you and explain why it is used in the preacher's propaganda video and sermon. Again, and from my perspective, I think even the most dumb of all the preacher's converts, followers, and others may admit that this is not an image that was designed and is here or there in his video to enhance the reputable status of my people, the natural native earthly humans, and us, their descendants today, that this preacher with disdain called the black people. But this image is here to further try, or it is there in his video, to further try and denigrate us. And by now, those of you that are listening and watching this video should figure out and know what the true nature and characteristics of these devils that are also known as the black ones really are. By now you should figure out that. Remember, I told you in my last video that it is by their fruits that you shall know them. Please look at this picture or this image again, or this photograph. Here we can clearly see what appears to be the deck of a ship. We can also logically deduce from this image that possibly it is a slave ship or a slave transfer carrier on which 4 devils, or more correctly 4 real black Caucasian males, and please note, not imaginary or fictitious black male, but 4 real cohorts of their god that is also known to people of insight as Satan. 4 real cohorts of Satan, their god and commander-in-chief, appearing as is often their custom, presenting themselves as being white in the form of 4 stylish, 4 suited, 4 proper and prim, neatly attired Caucasian males. Here you can also clearly see 4 of my natural native earthly human sisters, who are now ancestors, that are easily identified by their high melanin or carbon skin tone, along with their natural native earthly human beauty, their natural native earthly human structure and physique. They are easily identified. Notice how 2 of these truly black Caucasian males are gleefully engaged in the vicious lynching of one of my sisters that is now an ancestor. Just look at the gleeful and very pleasurable expression on their face, and particularly the cocky gesture and pose of the black Caucasian, or more correctly, the devil on the right, or possibly should be on your left. My question to the world, and especially to all the almost 289,000 or by now maybe 300,000 viewers that have thus far watched this preacher's propaganda video, is this: who or what manner of a human would hang another innocent human alive, let alone hang another innocent, helpless, and defenseless woman like this? Hang her by one leg, and in the process of doing so, is finding great pleasure, great joy, becoming ecstatic, and quite possible, become sexually aroused and excited as they would watch her suffer. Helpless. Watch her helpless, in pain, and in unbearable agony. What manner of a human could, and has done this? From my perspective, the answer is quite simple. Behold the unnatural one. Behold a devil. Behold the black ones. Behold the devils. Behold the black Caucasians. Only the black one, also called the devils, could, can, and has done such things. And while in the process of doing it, they find their perverted form of pleasure. And secondly, only those that have become possessed and induced with the spirit, influence, and power of the black Caucasians could do such evil and find pleasure in doing so, or while doing so. Let me take this opportunity and point out a few facts about the black one and his black ones, also known to many as Satan the devil and his host of devils. First is that he, the black one, and his devils, the black ones, are liars. They are cons, meaning deceivers. And they are here trying to con us all, the natural native earthly humans. They are here conquering, controlling, convincing, converting, conversing, congressing, convicting, condemning, neocon and neoconning, incon and inconning, ex-con, and all the other cons that you may know of or can think of. They are doing it to us, the natural native earthly humans, and especially to those of us that are highly gifted and highly blessed by our mother and source, Mother Nature, with melanin and Corbin skin, or Corbin skin. Let us not forget that Satan, yes, the black one, the commander-in-chief and his devils, the black ones, the black Caucasians, in his and in their attempt at deceiving all of us, the natural native earthly humans, they are camouflaging themselves as angels of light. And for your information, light is another word for white. In other words, light is white and white is light. So Satan the devil, or Satan the black one, and his devils, the black ones, will try to con you by claiming to be white, and even have some of us believe that they are indeed white. Again, please look and pay very close attention to this image and notice how amused and lustful these devils are as they inflict unbearable violence and torture on my sister while lynching her, all in the name of money and to the glory of their God, Savior, Queen, King, and country. And yet today, when some of my own people look at this image, they still believe, and some are even telling I, the Mystic Philosopher, that these devils, the black ones, then on that ship, along with their heirs and successors today, have people telling me that they can change and that they have changed. Telling me that these devils, then, these black ones, then, along with their heirs and successors today, have people telling me that they truly love us, that these devils truly care for us, that these black ones feel for us, and that they will even die for us in order to save us. And that is one of the many lies that I, the Mystic Philosopher, don't buy, period. Because my common sense tells me, and has proven to me, that a leopard cannot naturally, and the operative word here is naturally, change its spots. And that a scorpion is a scorpion, and a snake is a snake, regardless of how they may try to disguise it or disguise themselves. They cannot naturally change. They may grin, and some people think it's a smile. It's a genuine smile when it's a grin. But they cannot change who and what they are. Again, please pay very close attention to this image and notice how 3 of my sisters, who are now ancestors, had to sit and watch helplessly and in fear, in great terror, while these devils and terrorists, the black Caucasians, hung their sister like one of their hunted wild animals, hung her like a captured shark or like a wild boar to the slaughter, knowing that they are next in line, knowing that they too will soon meet and suffer the same fate at the hands of these black ones. Yes, these neatly dressed, suited, and possibly well-spoken black Caucasians. And that is just one of the many reasons why I, the Mystic Philosopher, don't trust people that are too neatly dressed and attired in any form of uniforms or suits. I don't. So when the preacher in his sermon claims that he is white and that he knows something about black people, here you can see for yourself with your own eyes in his own video, that he is a liar and that he is truly a black male or a black man. For he is both claiming to be white and that his people, his ancestors, are white. White meaning the opposite of black and everything good, etc. And that my people, the natural native earthly humans, my ancestors, is black, meaning evil and everything bad. When the fact is that if white people were to exist on this our planet Earth, they would not, could not, by nature they would not, could not, and will not have done the evils that you are witnessing these black Caucasians are doing to my sisters, or have done to my sisters who are now my ancestors in this image on your screen. And if this preacher had any light at all in him, he would at the very least implied or suggested that there are now, operative word here again is now, black people, meaning evil people, disgusting people, terrorist people, wicked people, people without moral goodness, etc. Just like those that we are witnessing in this video. In and among, he would have admitted that these are in and among every race on this planet Earth today. He would at the very least have the courage to point out the fact that there are black people in and among every race, creed, nations, and tribe today. However, to those of us that are truly awakened and enlightened, we know that in the beginning, it was not so. Because before they came, my ancestors knew nothing about sin, knew nothing about nakedness and violence. But that's another subject for another time. And finally, if his convert, ardent follower, and proud video maker, LP like Paul, was not fully brainwashed and deceived by this preacher and his God, and if he had not given his mind and whole life over to them while forsaking his ancestors and their spirits, then he would not have put an image like this in a video to show to the world to be representative of his people. This is the end of my commentary on this image or this picture called the abolition of the slave trade. Please join me in my next soon to be uploaded video, where I will continue to decode, expose, and comment on hidden messages in another image, or in image number 6 from the preacher's propaganda video against my people, titled, "What did Jesse Duplantis say about black people? I am the Mystic Philosopher, and my ancestors approve of this message."